Okay, welcome again, graded students. We are continuing with our lesson number 3, that is ecosystem. We have seen what is ecosystem, what are the different components. Let us go ahead with the next part, that is consisting of food chain and food web. The definition goes feeding relationship between different organisms through which energy is transferred. That is the main point. That energy being transferred from one step to other, or you can say one level to other level. It basically starts with producers and then to the consumers. Okay, so it always begins with the producers because they eat up the grass, right? So the grass is being eaten up by the herbivores. So consumers are the herbivores and producers, plants are the producers. So in a typical food chain, the producers are eaten up by the primary consumers. The food chain is always going to start with this, that producers, green plants being eaten up by the consumers. So then what happens is primary consumers are eaten by the secondary consumers, which in turn are eaten by the tertiary consumers. So this goes on till the tertiary consumers. Okay, this process of repeated eating and being eaten up forms the food chain. So one organism being eaten up by the other organism, that organism again being eaten up by the other organism is going to form a chain like structures. And since it is just about energy transfer, it is called as food chain. But sometimes it happens that in nature some plants and animals can be eaten by more than one organism. Obviously, if grass is there over there, it's just not the cow eating up that grass. It could be buffalo, it could be a donkey or any other herbivore which is going to feed. So one particular organism can be eaten up by many other organisms. For example, rats can be eaten up by snakes and by eagles as well. A dragonfly can be eaten up by frogs as well, and lizard as well. So we can see that there are one organism being eaten up by multiple organisms. So in such case, something called as a web-like structure happens. Okay, if an organism is eaten up by many organisms. Likewise, an animal need not feed only on one type of food. A lion can feed on deer, zebras, buffaloes. Now this is the other way around. Right now, the animal which is feeding on the other organism can feed on multiple organisms. It can have variety of food, just like you people like to have variety of dishes when you have your dinner on the lunch, right? So in this case also it is the same way. Thus, was one organism may occupy positions in more than one food chain. It is just not one chain now. It is going to create multiple chains. So when these multiple chains come together, it forms a complex web-like pattern or multiple food chains that are connected naturally. And that is why it is called as a food web. See, food web, a picture is very clearly shown here, where the eagle is going to feed on many kind of birds here, or the snake, or the rat. See, one organism is going to be eaten up by many organisms, and in turn is going to eat up many other organisms. Next concept is something called as pyramid of numbers. This is very new concept and very important. Definition is also very important. Let us start with the definition. It is a representation of the number of producers and consumers in a food chain. So it belongs to a particular area. It belongs to a particular ecosystem. Okay, only for that particular area. What are the numbers of producers and consumers? For example, if you talk of pond ecosystem. So how many fishes are there? How many plants are there? So it's going to talk about the plants over there, the number of plants, the number of fishes or the consumers over there. Okay, and it's in a graphical form. The pyramid of number is mostly upright as seen in this chart. Okay, and it decreases in number of organisms at each successive level of the food chain. See, you can see it is upright. That means that the narrower part is at the top and the broader part is at the base. Okay, this is happening because the energy getting transferred, okay, the number of organisms getting reduced in number. Fine, that is why it is getting narrower. You can see much of a producers available there, so much of a grass and whatever the plants are there. Then in the next level is primary consumers. The next level is secondary consumers. Secondary consumer, we will see that why does the tapering form of the why does the pyramid of number is tapering. Okay, why does it become narrower? We'll just see that. Just keep in mind that it becomes narrow. It is upright always. And The producers form the base of the pyramid. They being maximum in number as compared to the consumers. Likewise, the primary consumers are more in number than the secondary consumers, which again are more than the tertiary consumers. So in the picture you can see there's a lot of plantation. Then the second level, number of organisms reduce a bit as compared to the plants. The third level, again the number of organisms have reduced, those are feeding on the other, and at the top there are few remaining. At the tertiary level there are few remaining now. That is why the triangle is getting, the pyramid is getting triangular in shape, or the graph is getting triangular in shape, because the organisms are getting reduced, because they have to consume less amount of organisms there. See, herbivores will consume more producers, बहुत ज़्यादा घास या जो भी plants से खा लेंगे. So a snake is not going to keep on eating and eating the rabbits and the rats and everything. It is going to have as much only how much it required. So again, number of organisms is getting reduced. Eagle will hunt for a prey only when it is hungry. It will not eat 10 snakes together and all. It will feed on only one or few, right now. So the number of organisms getting reduced. That is why pyramid of number getting narrower and narrower. So energy flow in the ecosystem, food energy is transferred from producers to herbivores and then to the carnivores. Solar energy enters the food chain by photosynthesis in plants and is converted to chemical energy in food. This is the base of the energy flow. Then out of the 100% of solar energy that is converted into food, now only 90% is used up by the sorry for the disturbance of the vehicle there. Okay, so 90% only is going to be used for the metabolic processes. Metabolic processes means respiration, photosynthesis, or whatever, transportation of the food and minerals. These are all metabolic processes, digestion. Okay, 90% is going to be used up for metabolic processes and or lost as heat, and only 10% is stored as energy. Okay, 90% will be used up and only 10% is stored in the plants. Now when a herbivore is going to feed on the producer, out of this 10% stored energy, it is going to consume right now. Yeah, out of the total 10% energy of the herbivore receives from the producer, it will again use up 90% of it for its own metabolic activities and again store up only 10% of the energy. Now next level will happen, that a carnivore will come and feed on the herbivore. With the carnivore also same thing is going to happen. It will use up 90% and store 10% for itself. So this process keeps on continuing to a level after which there is almost no energy left to be transferred. Hence, the energy flow along a food chain and the number of individuals at each level gradually decreases as we go higher up, creating a pyramid-like structure. So organism is getting reduced, energy flow is getting reduced. That is why it is creating a pyramid. So let us see now further concept. One is interdependence between organisms. So how do we interact with each other? We are either friendly with each other, we are either become enemies with each other, or sometimes it is a mutual one. Okay, give and take relationship. So based on this, we are going to have three kinds of interdependence. Symbiosis. Symbiosis is a relationship between two organisms such that both organisms mutually benefit from the relationship. So here's an example. Leguminous plants. Legumes means what? Just like shenga, we have peanuts, groundnuts, right? So yeah, so pods you can say. So these leguminous plants, they have beaded structures known as nodules in the roots. You'll have to remove the roots and see small sac-like structures are there. In that sac-like structure, a small bacterium called as rhizobium lives. Now how is this symbiotic? This bacterium will convert the nitrogen from the atmosphere into simple nitrogenous compounds such as nitrates, and this nitrate is acting like a fertilizer. So bacterium is helping to convert nitrogen into nitrates, and in turn bacteria is getting a place to live, right? So this is how symbiosis, the relationship is symbiotic. Okay, so symbiotic example is rhizobium and leguminous plant. See, this is a picture. These are the sac-like structures. Next is the parasitism. Parasitism is a relationship between two organisms such that one organism benefits at the expense of other, right? So example is the recent COVID thing. It is a parasite, right? It is a virus killing all the people. It is just getting its own benefit and harming the other organism. Fine. So that is a parasite. The beneficial organism is called as a parasite, while the organism which is harmed is called as the host. An example of parasitism is relationship between tapeworm and man. If a man is getting infected by a tapeworm, okay, sometimes by eating uncooked pork and all, generally in outside countries, then the tapeworm can go and stay in the intestine of the human beings. So it will keep on sucking the digested nutrients ready made. So that is why it doesn't move also. It just keeps attached to the intestine. It doesn't have to move. It will keep on sucking the digested food. So this is a parasite. Tapeworm is a parasite. This is the tapeworm, and it grows inches and inches daily and daily. It grows very long, okay, sometimes up to 14 inches. Next relationship is predation. Predation is a relationship between two organisms such that one organism hunts down the other for food. So this is just about what happens in the jungle right now, in the forest area. A constant hunting going on. In this case, the hunter is called predator, while the hunted animal is called a prey. An example of predator-prey relationship is tiger and a deer. The tiger hunts and kills the deer for food, and the predator-prey relationship is essential to maintain a balance in the ecosystem. This is a rule of the forest or the jungle, to be killed and kill other organisms. Okay, so this happens on and off for the survival of the ecosystem. It has to be balanced. Okay, so this is the end of the concept now of today's session. Actually, this is the exercise. Now this being an offline session, I cannot ask you the questions, but please try to attempt. These all the questions are based on today's session. Okay, so all the best, and please attempt and keep reading the lesson few times, at least 2 or 3 times, and solve the exercise. Okay, you can start solving question number 1, question number 2 of short say long answer questions from the textbook. PDF I am sending. You can start copying from the textbook. Do not copy exactly. You can write in your own words, make flow charts, mind maps. Fine children, have a very nice day ahead.